good piece of material, then a lot of people will come for a lot less to be involved in the piece of material. You know, I mean, they had all these reenactors that worked on this thing that worked on it for nothing.
Sam Elliott breaks his silence, the actors he can't stand and why. Throughout his career, Sam Elliott was a man of few words. His silence carried weight. His gaze said more than 1,000 lines, and his on-screen presence radiated an authenticity few could fake. In Hollywood, he was known as the last cowboy, reserved, firm, and guided by an unshakable moral compass. But now, at 80 years old, he's decided to speak, and his words have shaken the industry like a gunshot in the desert. Elliott has revealed the names of actors he couldn't work with, those who, in his words, represent everything wrong with modern Hollywood. No diplomacy, no apologies, just the deep voice of a man who's lived film from the inside out.
How much one deer could do to her home.
The truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always necessary. That's how Sam explains his decision to speak. In a world where silence is the currency of conformity, someone who dares to speak their mind is already an act of rebellion. Benedict Cumberbatch. One of the first names, Benedict Cumberbatch. What Elliott said about him left audiences speechless. In 2021, Elliott caused a storm by openly criticizing The Power of the Dog, the Oscar-nominated Western by Jane Campion. Many praised it as a modern masterpiece. Elliott saw it as a pretentious caricature of the American West, and he didn't mince words. On a podcast, he ripped into the film. What bothered him wasn't just the slow pace or art direction, it was personal. He couldn't tolerate Cumberbatch's portrayal of a rancher.
I did, sir.
To Elliott, it felt stiff, fake, and disconnected from real cowboy life. "What the hell does this Brit know about the American West?" he scoffed. It wasn't just acting critique, it was a defense of a legacy he spent his life protecting. The backlash came fast. Critics called him outdated and toxic, but Sam stood his ground. For him, the West isn't an aesthetic, it's a way of life, and any film that dares to touch it without knowing its soul, he says, is unforgivable. It's not enough to portray a story. You have to understand where its pain comes from. For Sam, acting isn't dressing up. It's honoring the memory of those who lived it for real. Nicolas Cage. Another actor in Sam's crosshairs was Nicolas Cage. Though they worked together on Ghost Rider, Elliott called it one of the most frustrating experiences of his career. It wasn't about talent. He admits Cage is gifted, but also chaotic. With Nicolas, you never knew who was going to show up, he said. Some days Cage was brilliant, others completely unhinged.
Carter Slade. Can you keep up? That's right.
His acting style, intense, unpredictable, clashed with Elliott's disciplined, grounded approach. Cage would improvise, shift the tone, and show up with off-the-wall ideas. It felt like acting next to a volcano, Sam said. Though he respected Cage's boldness, he didn't share his methods. For Elliott, acting is a craft, not a personal experiment. On that set, he felt more like a witness than a co-star. Freedom without direction is just noise pretending to be art. To Sam, chaos isn't creativity. It's laziness. Discipline matters, even in genius. Jane Campion. Director Jane Campion, the mind behind The Power of the Dog, was also a target. Sam didn't just critique the cast, he went after the vision itself. He felt Campion, being from New Zealand, didn't understand the American West and portrayed cowboys with a distant, almost mocking tone. "I don't understand why a woman from New Zealand thinks she can talk about the American West like she's lived it," he said flatly.
Open up the gate, let him out.
You sure he's not ready?
Go on, let him out.
The outrage was swift. critics accused him of sexism and xenophobia, Elliott denied both. "It's not about nationality or gender. It's about authenticity," he said. "You have to feel the desert dust, the weight of silence, the tension in a stare between men who don't need to speak." To him, Campion's film failed because it didn't understand the essence of the West. Lady Gaga, one of the most unexpected moments came when he was asked about Lady Gaga. Though they've never worked together, Elliott was brutally honest about her acting debut in A Star Is Born. "She's not an actress. She's a pop star playing a pop star," he said.
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
Despite the film's success and Gaga's Oscar nod, Sam wasn't impressed. According to him, there's a big difference between presence and depth. Gaga shined on screen, sure, but Elliott didn't feel any real pain in her performance. It all felt rehearsed like an awards show act. Some accused him of tearing down a woman trying to cross into acting, but many, especially veteran actors, understood his critique, a defense of art over spectacle. Josh Brolin. Interestingly, one of the actors Elliott clashed with most is also one he deeply respects, Josh Brolin. The two worked together on No Country for Old Men and had intense disagreements on set. Brolin is raw and instinctive. Elliott is calculated and precise. During a key scene, the clash got so heated that filming was suspended for a day.
Shoot my dumb ass. If you stop and shave.
Years later, Sam said, "He was one of the hardest actors I ever worked with, but he made me grow the most." Sometimes the people who challenge you the most are the ones who push you to evolve. For Elliott, conflict doesn't destroy, it forges. In the tension between two strong wills, something unforgettable can emerge. What Sam Elliott has done is rare in Hollywood. Speaking your mind without filters is nearly suicidal in an industry obsessed with image. But at 80, he's not looking for fame or redemption. He just wants to remind the world that film, for him, is still about truth. In a world where superficiality wins and social media builds one-day idols, Sam Elliott is a living reminder that some still see acting as an art, not a marketing strategy. Time always reveals who was acting and who was living. And you? Do you think Sam Elliott is right, or is he just a relic from a world that no longer exists? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're passionate about the real stories behind the scenes, this channel is for you. Like, share, and join us for the next deep dive.